Hey guys, what is up? And I have a question for you. Have you ever this is a random question, but have you ever felt used in a way? And when I mean used, I mean in a way you were you kind of bought the friendship. I don't know. It's kind of how it seems maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I'm just feeling that right. Why I'm feeling that right now? It's probably because of this situation that I've been in. I don't like to talk about these kinds of situations with others because then it gets really hella awkward if the other person knows who you get it. Weird thing happens and yeah. So yeah, let's get straight into the story. And I probably talked about this one on my old channel. But it was the time I was a savage to my teacher. This was not a normal time. I mean, I just did this, went out of nowhere and did it. Because, I was an angry kid. But, in 7th grade, which was, I think, I would say about 1.5 years ago, in 7th grade, I was such a savage. No joke, the biggest savage ever. Not only was I a savage, I had balls. I would do shit that no one else would do. It was kind of crazy the situations that I would get in, and kind of crazy how funny they would end up to be. But it was also just it was just a funny situation. So yeah, let's get into this. So basically, I'm gonna give you some background information saying about my school or my old school. So basically, at my old school, we had this scholar folder. It was the gayest thing ever. I understand if you're in 5th grade getting this thing because you're a kid, but I was in 7th grade middle school. So I mean, you would think that they wouldn't still have it, but apparently they did still, and I don't know why. But the fact about it that made me the maddest, is because teachers would abuse the hell out of the scholar folder. Even if you did little types of shit, they would be oh, scholar folder mark. And even if it was an effort mark, the thing about it is scholar folder marks would piss off parents. My mom, if I even got an effort mark, effort meaning I forgot a book for class, they would mark you and do what you did wrong and signature and say the date. My mom would check it and she would be oh, now you lost your phone, you lost TV, you lost video games just because of this. And I'm are you serious? Legit, that's the stupidest thing ever. But because of the scholar folder, parents would go crazy over it because they wanted their children to be quote unquote perfect in a way. But I don't understand how you could be perfect. No joke, if you never got a scholar folder mark, you are, no offense to other kids, you're kind of boring. Or you're either smart. And a lot of the time it was smart. I mean, small portions of the time it would not mean smart. It was just because they just wanted to be quiet and stuff like that. But it was mostly the smart people that didn't get in trouble for that shit. So yeah, let's get straight into this story. And basically, I want to say that a conduct mark, if you get 5 of them, you get a detention, and I was at 4. So yeah, this was right after lunch, and we were going in line because apparently at the time, middle school, you have lines to walk into your classroom. And when I mean line, I mean freaking full ass kindergarten shit. Nothing, not you're just waiting outside and it ends up to be a line. No, this was you had to be in a freaking line or the teacher would be oh, give me your scholar folder. And to tell you the truth, I literally got, I think, marked for that 3 times in, I would say, 2 months. In that 2-month span, I was marked for that bullshit. But yeah, that wasn't the biggest deal. It was that at the time, I said, oh yeah, that was because we were arguing over sports, and I said, oh, that's a stupid call. And my teacher heard that, and she's a crazy. I mean, she's cool some of the times. The other times she really pisses you off. And a lot of the time with me and her in 7th grade, it was a whole piss off situation. Nothing good came out of that. But yeah, so she came at us and oh my God, she said, she got mad at me saying I was a negative person and saying that like what I said was like all that crap and saying don't use negative words and stuff like that. And yeah, she is, in this situation, she was a hell of a hypocrite. Like, legit crazy hypocrite. So yeah, she told me that and said, give me your scholar folder and stuff like that. And I'm all pissed because I'm about to get a detention. And my mom takes those so serious. So I literally got butt fucked. But yeah, so we were in the classroom. And then one kid in my class said like, so some girl said, oh yeah, I can't wait for next Christmas or something like that. And then one kid said, oh yeah, Santa's not real. And I mean, like, even though that's such a dick move, he really helped me in this situation. So basically right after he says that, the teacher's like, you are a negative Nelly for saying that. You don't say that, stuff like that. And I'm like, oh wait, let's talk smack. And I just went balls deep. I went like, oh God, like Jesus Christ. Like I've never had those kinds of balls before. Like legit. I talked back to my parents, never a teacher because of the chances of getting a suspension. But the fact about it was I did it. I fucking did it. And it was not like, oh yeah, you said a negative word or something like that. I went full balls deep and I said, oh yeah, you said not to say negative words, you are a hypocrite, blah 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 blah. And I ended off saying, hey, give me your scholar folder and I'll sign it, or where's your scholar folder, or something like that. And the whole class died laughing because of the fact that like no one is that savage in our class to even do anything like that. Except for in that situation, apparently I was. But I mean, there's some kids like in my class, like if you get them mad enough, they might be able to do it, but never like to that extent. They would not say like stuff like that. They would just be like all mad and saying that they would basically talk back, but it wouldn't matter. But yeah, I got sent to the principal's office and yeah, it was fun there. I got to talk to my great principal, which I totally love. But I mean, like when he's not like mad at you and everything, he's such a nice guy. Like freaking Canadians are beasts. I don't know why. Like some people make fun of Canadians for being way too nice or doing all that stuff, and I'm like, seriously? Like legit, Canadians are the best. Freaking, no offense to Americans, and I'm an American, but some of the Americans in our freaking United States are assholes. And I mean, like, when I say asshole, I mean like full on, like they need to get like slapped a couple times, like backhand, forehand, backhand. So yeah, I talked to, like, basically the principal has two types of personality. Freaking beast personality or asshole personality. And at this time he was asshole personality. And this was literally a day before 2 days before Christmas break. So yeah, the best of my luck. The funny thing about this whole story is she never, ever signed my scholar folder. There was a situation at the end of 7th grade where she was like, oh yeah, I forgot to sign your scholar folder that one time. And she was like, oh yeah, so give me your scholar folder and I'll sign it. And then as she's like, oh wait, I'll just be right back and everything. And it was the last day of school, so of course I had to be savage and run. I was like, yeah, fuck that shit. I'm not doing that. And I mean, like, when she meant like give me your scholar folder, even though she had it, I mean, like, she meant like let me find your scholar folder, wait here, and it's probably gonna end up in a detention because at the time I also had 4 conduct marks. But yeah, I ended the year off still being a savage. I had so many more times where I was a stupid person. Like, legit, the stupidest person ever. But yeah, that is my story. If you guys put in the comment section, I've never done this before, but if you guys have any stories you've ever like related to like being a savage to your teacher, please put it in the comment section. I want to read those. I've never thought of this idea, but like it's such a good idea to have like some of your people that watch your videos to also tell stories and then like listen to them, because I love stories. Stories are my favorite thing in the world, and if you guys could please do that for me, just takes a quick second and do that for me, that would make my day, just seeing all your guys' stories. And the reason that I love seeing stories is because they like bring out my imagination. Because if you don't know me in person, I daydream a lot. Like, the only reason I had like C's in some of my classes and B's in some of my classes is because half the time I was freaking basically asleep. Not really, I was awake, but I was daydreaming like, what if this shit happened or something like that in my mind. And like, I would get the test and I'm like, oh shit, I daydreamed through that stuff. Awkward. But to tell you the truth, probably my best subject I had was math, and that was because math is, some people get reading easier to them, or math easier to them, and as you can tell, I'm not a good reader. So you could tell I got the math side. Some people are beasts and they can do both, and they're beasts at both, and probably better than me. And it's just like the math side just comes to me and like basically helps me be a freaking math ninja. But yeah, if you guys could put in the comment section like your stories and stuff like that. Got a little off topic sometimes, but that doesn't matter. Yeah. See you guys. Please like and subscribe if you haven't, and peace.